Hello friends, welcome to DraftWiz. In the previous video, we discussed the key fundamentals of contract drafting. For those of you who have missed it, you can find the link in description below. Today, we will be discussing the process of contract drafting in corporate, with focus on scope of work. Let's quickly go through the stages of contract drafting in corporate. The first stage is drafting of scope of work or scope of services. The second stage is drafting of model agreement, followed by discussions, closure and freezing, and finally the signing stage. We will be discussing these stages further in this video, and your takeaways from this video will be an understanding of how contract drafting works in corporate and how to create a good SOW. So, what is an SOW? A SOW is a very detailed document. It is used when different departments within an organization are working together on a project, or when contractual workers or associates outside an organization are working on a project with internal project team. So we can say when different teams outside or inside an organization are working on a project together, we make use of a SOW, which is statement of work or scope of work. Before we go on to see how an actual SOW looks like, let's understand the purpose and elements of SOW and also find out the checkpoints to be kept in mind while drafting a SOW. Purpose of SOW. SOW is an extremely detailed document that captures and defines all aspects of your project. It basically lays down the groundwork for project plan. So, the purpose of SOW is to set expectations and ensure that there are no misinterpretations or mistakes. A SOW acts as a guiding document for contracting parties in drafting of contract. It ensures that the expectations of each party from the other are correct and clear. It also makes sure that misinterpretation, mistakes, etc. are avoided and parties are clear in terms of interpretation. Elements of SOW. Not all SOWs will follow the same pattern. However, a well-structured SOW comprises of introduction, objectives, scope, tasks with clear responsibilities, timeline, and milestones, requirements with clarity of terms and any software, instrument, staff, or other support required, schedule and deliverables with progress or other reports as required, associated costs or payments, success criteria, closure, or sign-off. Now, most SOWs do not have adoption plan. Now, this is essential when we are dealing with the software industry. So, these are the elements of SOW. You will gain a better understanding of these when we go on to see how an SOW is actually drafted and what it looks like in the upcoming slides. SOW checkpoints. Here are a set of questions you need to keep in mind while drafting a SOW. Let's go through them one by one. First, is there clarity in words written? Choice of words should not lead to confusion. Think, predict, and discuss the written or unwritten. Next, does your SOW outline a step-by-step process? A SOW should have a well-defined process or methodology. Are things open to interpretation? You should avoid ambiguity. Nothing should be open to interpretation. Are there measures in place to ensure timely delivery of project? Avoid delays by freezing the timelines and have precise milestones. Have you obtained the consent of other party to freeze the SOW? Have you settled the obligations and penalties, if any? Have you discussed and clarified the agreed SOW along with entire commercials with internal stakeholders? Have you obtained ratification of relevant stakeholders? Now, this is important. Obtain consent of internal as well as external stakeholders. Negotiate to settle and close points of conflicts. Here are a few tips for you to draft a good SOW. The motto of SOW is thou shalt not assume. So add explicit details. Make use of flowcharts and images to gain clarity. Create task element and responsibility table and have defined time frames for their completion. Similarly, for payment, Define clear dates of payment and not open ones like within 30 days, but something like on the 20th day of the month. Then define success criteria. The last thing anyone would like is an unsatisfied customer. Let's go through some samples of SOW. Draftwiz organizes contract drafting workshops for both students and working professionals for actual on-hand experience. You can reach us at description provided under for attending a workshop. So, what after SOW? Once you have the SOW in place, you may proceed on to next steps. Let's take a deeper look into these. Once you have the SOW in place, the next step is to draft a model agreement and then fuse SOW contents with model agreement. You then organize discussions, internal discussions, brainstorm and note down proposed amendments. You can note down these as comments in review mode in MS Word. Discuss the final template internally, finalize it by making amendments if any, and then share it with other party. Close the discussion with the other party, freeze the agreement, and then finally get it signed by both parties. Coming up next in our videos to follow are SOW related documents. An SOW is often used in conjunction with other related documents including request for proposal and master services agreement. RFP is a document used to procure goods and services from vendors or contractors, whereas MSA is a contract that outlines two parties' terms and responsibilities. Other documents related to SOW are Statement of Objectives, Performance of Work Statement, and Project Charter. Many government entities prefer using a SOO or PWS because these documents allow more flexibility in how contractors approach a project. The project charter is also high level but incorporates goals and expectations in addition to outcomes. Thank you for your patient listening. Please hit the like button and subscribe our channel for more videos to follow.